Hi, I'm Kirsten McGregor and I'm an economic recovery consultant and my company is Zacax Associates. I am here from a different perspective, not just from a consultant helping communities following a disruption or disaster, but I am living one. I live in Wilmington, Delaware, just outside of Philadelphia, and we had a tornado last night go through my backyard. It's not official yet, but we're pretty sure that's what it was. And we've been without power for almost 24 hours and Wi-Fi. So of course, with being home and working remotely and with family, that of course complicates things. But I guess I wanted to post something that it just occurred to me: when you're living it as opposed to working it, it's a little different. So I'm just gonna walk around my backyard here. That you hear some generators and you hear some chainsaws. The power company, there's just been so much damage and trees and down wires in this part of the state that they haven't been able to even come out to assess the damage. But here in my yard, we have several trees that came down. One huge one right here. You can see some furniture got thrown around. Just a whole bunch of damage. And my neighbor, they have a blue roof. Of course, we're familiar with blue roofs in the Caribbean. A tree unfortunately fell down into their dining room last night. So I say this because after Hurricanes Irma and Maria, the Caribbean was without power for several months, and even 3 years later, there are still some houses that have blue roofs. So this is something we need to think about. But a few months ago, I was asked what would happen with the second wave with the economy, and my response was, we don't need to just be worried about a second wave, because the pandemic is making us vulnerable from an economic perspective. That it doesn't take much. I think I even said it only takes the power to go out for a few days, particularly if we're all working or homeschooling remotely. That we need to think about the economy a little differently. And we've had, like I said, there was a tropical storm a few days ago. We had this tornado last night. But there was an earthquake shortly after the shutdowns in Puerto Rico. We've had a whole bunch of things happen, and it just seems like the small businesses are the ones who are the most impacted, which of course then impacts employment as well. But that's why it's so important to have business preparedness and business continuity plans, but also starting to be strategic about how we look at economic disruptions and disasters, because Delaware is not a disaster-prone state, and it seems like we've had our fair share. And hats off to the people who are working in emergency management and response here in Delaware, and our line workers and our Department of Transportation. But it obviously takes a lot of different groups to look at response, but it's a whole different group of people like me who work on the long-term recovery, which is going to be going on for a few years. So please reach out to me if you need some help with your long-term recovery efforts or economic disruption strategies, or just put a comment below. Let me know how things happen in your state, and I hope everybody's safe and doing well. So thanks.